Good afternoon or good evening to everybody. I know we have attendees from many different countries. Thank you so much for joining this special webinar on TOEFL and TOEFL iBT Special Home Edition test. I'm Ina Rabulan, Education USA Advisor at the American Council for International Education office in Armenia. Also, it is wonderful to welcome Yasmin Arsin, who is Academic Relations and English Language Teaching Coordinator at ETS Global. Now, hi Yasmin, thank you for joining us today.
Hi everyone, hi Ina. So first of all, thank you very much for organizing this webinar. It's a big pleasure for me to reconnect with Education USA Armenia and all the other nationalities we have right now.
Right. It is so much appreciated that you can find the time during this very unprecedented period to provide us information and update on TOEFL test in general and inform about the possibilities and technical requirements for the TOEFL Home Edition. Perhaps all we know for now, this is that ETS is like providing opportunity as a COVID-19 response to those who cannot take the TOEFL test. And I know that there are some circumstances and some restrictions though, but however, I believe many of our attendees still need some clarification on the test requirements and have a bunch of questions on the registration, rescheduling, or many other things. So we are happy to have you today with us.
Thank you very much. So I hope I will be able to respond to all of the questions in their minds of the participants. So at the end of my presentation, we will have some time for questions and answers. So feel free to write your questions in the chat part.
Right. So before starting, just a brief update about technical features. So I'm sure that many of you are familiar with the Zoom and know how everything works here. So please use chat box to type your questions. We will take them throughout the webinar. We'll also have a Q&A session, as Yasmin told, and you can just unmute yourself and ask your questions if you are more comfortable to do this. So perhaps we'll start. And once again, Yasmin, thank you for joining us today, and the floor is yours.
Oh, great, thank you. So hi everyone again. I hope you all are doing well in these difficult times. I wish I could be in Yerevan right now, and the majority of the attendees are from Armenia, I know that. I was there in November 2018, only for 3 days, unfortunately, but I had an amazing time with a group of teachers and students. I hope we will make it real, Ina. First of all, I would like to state that.
So, yes, it will be my pleasure to host you. Just let's hope for the best and hope that we'll meet some days in fall.
Yeah, let's hope for the best for the whole world, exactly.
Right.
I hope we will have better days together. So, hi again, and my name is Yasemin Arshan. I work as an Academic Relations and ELT Coordinator at ETS Global. I'm based in Istanbul, so greetings from sunny Istanbul, unfortunately sunny, and we are not allowed to go out frequently. So this is my email address. After the presentation, if you have any questions or anything unclear in your mind, don't hesitate to contact me. I will be very happy to support and help you whenever needed. All right. So as you know, ETS is the owner and maker of TOEFL tests, not only TOEFL tests, but also GRE and some other tests. But probably you are aware that TOEFL iBT is the most important one, is the most popular one, especially for higher education purposes and even employment purposes in across the world. So luckily, there have been a lot of developments, like positive developments on the TOEFL iBT side recently. And unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, our test centers across the world are closed. And ETS has come up with a very quick solution to address the needs and expectations of potential test takers and institutions. So my presentation will be about the TOEFL iBT test in general, as well as TOEFL iBT Special Home Edition. So there will be some technical details, some other details regarding the differences and similarities between the TOEFL iBT test at the test center and TOEFL iBT test at home. So I hope you will find this presentation useful, and feel free to ask your questions in the chat part, and I will do my best to answer all of them at the end of my presentation. So, okay. So the outline of my presentation is
sorry, Yasmin, to interrupt you, but I want to know that all of you can hear us well.
Okay.
Can you hear us? Just reassure that.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Sorry for interruption.
No problem. No problem. So I will start first with the kind of definition of the TOEFL iBT test, and then why do we need to take the TOEFL iBT test? We will discuss this. And the third item is very important these days, TOEFL iBT Special Home Edition. And then we will touch upon test timing and structure, test scores, registration process, test prep, and finally, question and answer. All right. What is the TOEFL iBT test? TOEFL iBT test stands for a test of English as a foreign language, internet-based test. So it's a test designed for non-native speakers of English, of course, for academic purposes, because our test is 100% academic. The TOEFL iBT test is a computer-delivered test that measures English proficiency of non-native speakers of English. It measures all 4 language skills. This is the real test order: reading, listening, 10-minute break, and then speaking and writing. First, you will focus on passive skills and receptive skills, and then you will focus on productive skills, because you will be producing in spoken and written forms. Academic English is tested, and we use integrated questions in speaking and writing. We will discuss why we use integrated tasks in the productive skills in the following slides. As you may be aware, TOEFL iBT's test scores are used for admission into colleges and universities where courses are taught in English. That means whenever it is needed in an English-speaking environment. Additional uses can be immigration, licensing, scholarships, as well as employment. All right. Why do we need TOEFL test? TOEFL test is accepted, scores are accepted all around the world. So even though TOEFL test has been created by ETS, an American organization in Princeton, New Jersey, TOEFL test scores are accepted across the globe. So it's not only in the United States. We will discuss those acceptance matters in the following slides. So when you have a high score in the TOEFL iBT test, it will be a kind of prestige on your CV, in your application package. So it will take you to an advantage position among the others. So this is the summary of the slide. Unfortunately, I will go over some slides very quickly, but if you need more information, I can definitely share this presentation in the PDF format with you if you send me an email. All right, so don't worry if you think that you miss some points, because there are a lot of details of the test. As we said, TOEFL iBT scores are accepted all around the world by more than 11,000 universities and other educational or business institutions in over 150 countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, US, UK, all across Europe and Asia. So far, more than 35 million people have taken our test. So it's a very big number, and probably you are aware of the popularity of the TOEFL iBT test for these purposes. So actually, I've already mentioned that scores are accepted worldwide. Let's come to our very nice developments that facilitate the job of test takers at the time of the test, and even before the test and after the test. So we will look at some nice developments as we call a better test experience. As of August the 1st, our test is much shorter In the past, it was approximately 3.5 hours, but right now, approximately 3 hours. So there will be less stress and less tiredness. I'm sure that there's a big difference, like when you say half an hour cut from the test. MyBest Scores help test takers show their best test performance. In the following slides, we will explain it in detail. In the past, test takers used to take their scores in 10 days, but right now it is in 6 days. So it's also very important. I think it will make make the process less stressful. In the past, again, we didn't used to take the benefit of artificial intelligence for scoring spoken responses, but right now we combine the experience of human raters and artificial intelligence by using automated scoring. That's why the scores are delivered, the scores are announced in a shorter. Our registration website has been updated. It's much more user-friendly. We have a TOEFL official mobile application to manage your account from anywhere. In the past, we had only morning testing, but right now we have afternoon testing as well. I hope you will take the test only once and you will meet the requirement of the university that you are going to apply for. But let's say that you need to take the test again. So the waiting period has also been shortened for you. And again, in the past, online registration was possible only up to 4 days before the test date. Right now, it has been shortened to 2 days. And last but not least, we have a free practice test on our website. It is open to everyone. You can do it. You can conduct it in your privacy as many times as possible. So you can see the real test questions on our website. It is open to everyone. All right. Let's come to special home edition. Because of the COVID-19 situation, ETS has created a special at-home testing method that everyone can benefit from all around the world, where computer-based testing is available. Only excluding China and Iran. I think there will be home testing in Iran as well soon. But in China, the situation is a bit different. So ETS is working on the best solution for Chinese test takers as well. TOEFL iBT Special Home Edition has arisen from definitely a big need, because we cannot take the test at a test center, at a certified test center by ETS, because they are closed due to the virus situation. In order to minimize disruptions and allow applicants and institutions to continue their time-sensitive applications and plans, ETS has come up with this solution. I hope it will help the process that you will go through. It's a convenient, flexible, and safe option for testing while test centers are closed. The at-home test is identical in price, content, format, and on-screen experience to those taken at a test center. It also uses the same scoring criteria, scoring process, and score scale, so scores can be accepted and used in the same way. So the only difference, actually the only big difference, is that you are not at the test center. That's so simple. Let's look at more details about SHE, Special Home Edition. When the test is conducted at a test center, of course, the availability of the test center, availability of the date and time is more limited. But when we come to Special Home Edition, it is available 24 hours a day to accommodate test center test takers in multiple time zones. So you will have more flexibility and you will benefit from the availability of 24 hours a day. Testing will take place through test takers' personal computers at home. Test sessions will be monitored through the use of live human proctors and artificial intelligence technology. That means you have to provide the right conditions for taking the test at home. And finally, the entire test session will be videotaped because those recording will be shared with the institutions if you show an institution as the score recipient. All right. For more details, you can visit our link on this slide. What are the eligibility requirements? That means, like, what conditions do you need to take the test at home? First of all, if you are not in China and Iran, you can take the test. So it is available in every country where the computer delivered tests are normally available. Your computer equipment must meet the requirements for the test. The test taker will be instructed to use a link that is provided to check prior to registration. So you will not be shocked when you start the test. Oh, these technical requirements will not be suitable for my computer, for my condition. So there is no matter of surprise for you. All right, so before the registration, you will be informed about the instructions and computer equipment requirements. And of course, test room must meet ETS requirements for an acceptable testing environment. So there must not be anyone, for example, in the room. So we will look at more details. Equipment requirements can be divided into 4 categories. So computer, microphone, speaker, and camera. For computer, it must be a desktop or laptop computer, not a tablet or mobile device. This is very important. You must be using Windows operating system, versions 10, 8, or 7. I think you can meet this requirement. I think the majority of us can meet this requirement. If you are using a Mac computer, there must be Windows installed, and you must be using Chrome or Firefox browser. For microphone, you must use an internal or external microphone that is not part of a headset. Communicate with the proctor. Proctor means invigilator. That means controlling the testing environment. About speaker, we can see that there must be an internal or external speaker to hear the proctor. Headsets or wireless earphones are not allowed. And as for camera, it can be a built-in camera in the computer or a separate webcam. Camera must be able to move to show the proctor a 360-degree view of the room, including your tabletop service before the test. These are for security purposes, of course, because we would like to make sure that institutions will build trust in Special Home Edition. So these are a must for making the test as secure as possible for everyone. What are the test environment requirements? As you can see, for privacy-wise, test taker must be alone in a room, as you can understand, with no one else entering during the test. This is very important. Testing in a public space, such as a park, internet cafe, or restaurant is not allowed. So I hope, I know that most of us cannot go to these places, unfortunately. So it's not allowed, of course, for security purposes. Tabletop and seating wise, we can see that computer and keyboard must be on a desk or other tabletop surface. Tabletop and surrounding area must clear of all items not approved for use during the test. Test taker must sit in a standard chair, sitting or lying on a bed, couch, or overstuffed chair is not allowed. Food and drink are not permitted during the test. I think this is a good summary. If you have further questions, please ask at the end of the presentation, or you can send me an email, and I can definitely forward the link to you for more details. And when we continue with the test environment requirements, we can see clothing and appearance are also of importance. Ears must remain visible not covered by hair, hat, or other items, just like in the real test conditions. Test takers must be dressed appropriately as they will be monitored via video and their photos will be shared with score recipients. Watches, jewelry, tie clips, cufflinks, clips, combs, hair clips, headbands, sunglasses, and other accessories are not permitted. So when we come to note-taking materials, test takers may not take notes on regular paper for security purposes, but can use one of the following: whiteboard with erasable marker and paper with transparent sheet protector and erasable marker. All notes must be erased in view of the proctor at the end of the test. So these conditions are very similar to real test conditions at the test center. As some of you may know, at the end of a test at the test center, you provide your note-taking sheets to the test center administrator, and they tear down and throw them away. So this is also for security purposes. You must definitely provide these conditions during the at-home testing. All right. I hope you don't have such problems, but let's suppose that some of your friends or maybe some of your colleagues or peers have some health-related needs or disabilities. They should definitely contact ETS about their testing needs. Accommodations can be requested in the test taker's ETS account, extended time, extra breaks, magnification, and selectable colors. So ETS is always ready to support this kind of potential test takers. All right, let's come to shorter test. What is the difference between a TOEFL iBT test before August 1st, 2019 and after? Testing time has been reduced by 30 minutes to 3 hours, the same test format and question types. The types of passages, lectures, conversations are all the same. Only the number of questions and the number of tasks and lectures has been reduced. We will see the chart very soon. So before August 1st, we had 12 to 14 questions after each reading passage. But right now we have 10 questions. Accordingly, the testing time, the duration has also been shortened. As you can see, in the past it was 80 minutes, but right now 54, 72 minutes. Why the testing time may vary? According to what? I'm sure that this question has risen in your mind, because either in the reading section or in the listening section, we have extra one reading passage or lecture. Accordingly, there are questions, of course. One reading passage or one lecture followed by questions is unscored. That means ETS puts these reading passages or lectures or and questions for experimental purposes. And during the test, or before or after the test, you don't know which passage and questions, your answers to those questions will be unscored. If we tell you that this section is unscored, I'm sure none will be doing it. That's why ETS considers this as the most reliable option to understand the reliability and validity of questions. That's why I can assure you that either in the reading or in the listening section, there's an extra passage or lecture with questions. All right. So if you have 4 reading passages in your test, that means 1 is extra, 1 is unscored. When we come to the listening section, before August 1st, we had 4 to 6 lectures. Right now, we have 3 to 4 lectures. The testing time was 69 minutes. Right now, 57 minutes. In the speaking section, the number of tasks has been reduced. As you can see, 1 independent and 3 integrated left, and there has been no change in the writing section. All right. In the reading section, sometimes I hear this assumption from people that in the reading section we test field knowledge or scientific knowledge. We don't. This is a false assumption. We test your English comprehension in an academic setting. So even though our reading passages include scientific information, they are not intended to test your knowledge, prior knowledge. Let's say that one passage is about astronomy. I don't have to know anything about astronomy. I studied American culture and literature, for example. But still, I can answer those questions because the answers are in the reading passage. So the test is designed in accordance with English proficiency expectations. So the passages are approximately 700 words long, and each passage is followed by 10 questions. And the passages can be from natural sciences, physical sciences, and social sciences. Our texts are from first-year university student textbooks. All right, so they don't require specialization. And sometimes at the end of passages, there is a small glossary feature to define words not commonly used. Let's say that a word from like a word with Latin origin, they put at the end of the passage to explain, to define the word for your understanding. In the listening section, it's a myth that you will only hear American English. That is not true. As of 2013, ETS has started to integrate other native accents like Australian, British, New Zealander accents. You can also hear. And all the native accents are standard accents. So you can be sure of that. In the listening section, we test basic comprehension, listening for pragmatic understanding, and the connection and the synthesizing of information provided in the lectures and conversations. As you can imagine, conversations are easier to follow because there is interaction between 2 or 3 people or among 3 people. But when it comes to lectures are a little bit more scientific. Still, just like in the reading section, we are not testing your prior knowledge. For the listening section, you need to have good note-taking skills. This is very important. You should do some prior practice before the test for note-taking so that you can be practical, and as fast as possible, you can use some symbols on your note-taking sheet. So it will be much easier in the real test conditions. In normal conditions, let's forget about special home edition. In the real test conditions at a test center, the sheets of paper for note-taking are provided by the test center. So you are not bringing any sheets of paper, scrap paper with you, or paper, or a pen or pencil. All right, so everything is provided by the test center. Of course, in the listening section, there is also one point to emphasize. Just like in our native tongue, native language, some of us can speak a little bit faster, some of us can speak a little bit slower. In the TOEFL iBT test as well, it is the same rule, I can say that. TOEFL iBT test is designed in accordance with the academic expectations. Just like in the real academic life, you will hear a lot of different accents, in interaction with your peers in the classroom or with your instructors or professors. So TOEFL iBT test is designed accordingly. When we come to the speaking section, in the real test center conditions, we wear headphones and the microphone is attached here or here, depending on the country or the type of the headphones. So the question appears on the screen. When you click, you listen to the question as well, and then you respond into the microphone. So there is no one asking you a question and receiving your response. Before COVID-19, I was receiving complaints that our speaking section is really mechanized. It's a computerized speaking. There is no interaction. Right now, I think we are all used to speaking into the microphone without seeing anyone. So I think TOEFL iBT speaking will be perceived much easier as the conditions have changed a lot in the recent months. So, for speaking section, as I said before, this is a test for non-native speakers of English. We can have the influence of our mother tongue, mother language on our English. As long as it is not too much, you can still have have the influence of your native language. As long as your English is clear, as long as you use academic English accurately as possible, you will still get a high score. So don't worry that, oh, you don't have a perfect American accent, for example. So I was an English teacher for 10 years and I still have a little bit of Turkish influence on my English. So this is very normal. And at ETS, our human raters are pretty much used to different non-native speaker accents. So don't worry about your accent too much. Just try to understand the question very well, be relevant, come up with related explanations and examples, and try to use academic English as accurately as possible. So these are significant considerations for the speaking section. In the speaking section, we have independent and integrated tasks. What is independent? What is integrated? Independent is very simple to understand. There is a statement, question, and you respond to this question with your own knowledge and experience. These are very familiar questions. For example, should first-year university students live on campus or off campus? Explain your stance, explain your argument with examples. So this kind of question. This is not a question that requires specialization or special knowledge of the field or let's say scientific area. So you can answer this question with your own knowledge, general knowledge and experience. When it comes to integrated tasks, as you can understand, we integrate skills. We integrate reading, listening, speaking, or listening, speaking only. You read a passage, a very short passage in 45 minutes, in around 45 minutes, about the topic, let's say that animal rights, and then about the same topic, maybe with an additional perspective or with extra information, you listen to a lecture. And then the question appears on the screen, you listen to the question, and you are given a specific time to think and respond. So when you have enough practice for this kind of tasks, I'm sure that it will be much easier. And when you check our sample tests on our website, so it will more clear in your mind, I believe. At first, they might sound challenging tasks, but actually it is very relevant to how we experience, how we use English in academic settings. In a classroom where we speak English, we are not only listening to our instructor. The instructor asks a question, we respond to that question, we take notes, and maybe at the end of the lesson, the instructor tells us to write an essay at home. So there is always an interaction between skills, even in real life, not only in academic life. That's why the questions of the TOEFL iBT test are produced accordingly. When we come to the writing section, probably you can imagine that we will be typing our response and essay on by using a keyboard, a standard keyboard at our test centers. Again, we have integrated task, one and one independent. In the integrated part, you are not supposed to write about your opinion, but in the independent one, your essay must be based on your opinion, your experience. For integrated, we have 20 minutes. For independent, we have 30 minutes. So for integrated, first you will read a passage and then you will listen to a short lecture. And after all these finish, you have 20 minutes to write a response. Why am I calling it as a response? Because we are not expecting a typical essay format here. It can be a full long paragraph with 3 arguments. I'm saying 3 arguments because in this section, integrated part, there are always 3 arguments in the reading passage and in the lecture as well. For independent, there is a statement and then there is a question. Let's say the question is, do you agree or disagree with the statement above? And you will write an essay. This essay can have 2 or 3 paragraphs, body paragraphs, sorry, or maybe 5, depending on the length of your essay. So I'm also checking the time in the meantime. So TOEFL iBT test, how is it scored? From each section, the maximum score that you can get is 30. So maximum score for the TOEFL iBT is 120. The score requirements of each university may be different. I'm talking about all the countries in the world. So if you look at the United States, for example, one university may ask for 79, the other one can ask for 110. So it depends on the universities, their own decisions in their institution. That's why before I highly recommend you check the score requirements of universities that you are planning to apply to. All right, and on our website, there is a free service, TOEFL destination, direct TOEFL destination search. You can enter the country, you can enter the state, you can enter the name of the university, and you can check the requirements of universities. So it's a free service. You can check it on our website. In the test, in the TOEFL iBT test, don't leave any questions empty. Answer all of them. Try to make the best guess, because you will not have points subtracted for incorrect answers. It's much better to guess than leave a question blank. Your TOEFL test results will be available online in 6 days. And your score report, original paper copy of your score report will be sent to your address if you choose it in your TOEFL account in probably 4 or 5 weeks, because all the score reports are sent from Princeton, New Jersey. And scores are valid for 2 years. And probably you're aware of that. Several of the institutions, educational institutions, higher education institutions, ask for electronic copy of your test scores. So they don't accept paper copies. So in your TOEFL account, you can choose a score recipient, an educational institution, and when you choose it, when your scores are ready, ETS will directly send the scores to that institution or those institutions. So you can choose 4 free score recipient institutions. As you can see, this is a screenshot from your TOEFL account. If you choose online score report only, that means you will not receive the original paper copy of your score report. So you should choose the second one. If I were you, I would definitely go for the second one, because you may need the paper copy as well, because this is the original one, which comes from ETS Princeton. MyBest Scores is also another development. What is that? Combination of the highest section scores from all valid test dates. As the test scores are valid for 2 years, let's say that you have taken the test twice or 3 times because you couldn't meet the minimum requirement of the university. I hope it will never happen. MyBest Scores will collect all the highest scores from each section and will give you a set of new scores. So this is included in all score reports since August 1st, 2019. Let's say that I have taken the test twice. In one of them, my reading is 20, the highest. In the same one, listening is the highest, 22. In the other one, I have speaking 20 and writing 19. So as you can see, my best scores are constructed here, let's say. All right. So this is MyBest Scores is a multi-year project. So universities one by one have started to accept MyBest Scores. So if you are planning to apply for 3 universities, for example, for a master's degree or PhD, you should definitely check the websites of universities, whether they accept MyBest Scores or not. In the United States, the majority of universities accept MyBest Scores already. MyBest Scores can be seen on the score report as well, as you can see on this page. And we said faster score reporting, approximately 6 days instead of 10 days. So this is a nice development, as we said before. And test takers can download PDF score reports in 7 to 8 days. You should definitely do it. Like, you should keep the electronic copy of your score report in your computer. I think this is also a good idea. Enhanced speaking scoring. ETS is the only testing and assessment institution in the world that combines the experience of human rater and automated scoring. We cannot ignore the objectivity of human raters, their experience, their knowledge, and at the same time, ETS would like to use artificial intelligence because it makes the process easier and quicker. So it is good for not only test takers, but also institutions. For speaking, not only one rater is responsible for one response. As you can see towards the end of this slide, there are 4 human raters and 4 speech rater ratings. So it is a very standard process. That's why it takes 6 days. And your written responses in the writing section also, your responses are also scored by human rater and e-rater, another AI technology. Registration on our website is much easier when I compare it with months ago. Let's say we have TOEFL official application. You can register for the test on your mobile phone as well. And you can also have access to free and priced resources on our mobile application. As I stated before, we have increased capacity with afternoon testing and reduced retest waiting period. In the past, you had to wait 12 days to retake the test, but right now you will wait only 3 days. Extended online registration, as I stated before, so I will not repeat it. For registration, you must have a TOEFL account. To open an account, TOEFL account is free. When you decide to take the test, you will pay the test fee by your credit card or debit card, and then you will either choose at-home testing or you will choose a test center. I hope very soon you will choose a test center and test date. So this is the summary of the procedure. We talk about the disabilities and health-related needs. You should check this link if you need extra help from ETS. This is a screenshot of the first page of TOEFL account. As you can see, there's username, password. If you're a new user, it will take around 15 minutes to open a new TOEFL account. And in your TOEFL account, your name, surname is very important, of course, for security purposes when you take the test. Some people have two names or let's say two surnames depending on the culture and country. So you should write your name and your names and surnames that exactly matches your ID. Otherwise, the test center administrator may be suspicious of you and may not allow you to take the test. So this is a very important consideration. When you enter your name and surname and birth date, you cannot change them by yourself. You need to contact customer support in your country. Other than that, in your TOEFL account, you can change telephone number, you can change address, you can change email address, you can change your password as well. You can do multiple actions, processes over there. In your TOEFL account, if you would like to check where the test is held, like conducted, administered, you can check find test centers and dates. And you will see 2 months option, September, October, for example, and then November, December, you can go forward. Your ID, before, when you decide to take the test, you register and test on the test day, you go to the test center. So your ID is very important. As I mentioned earlier, if you have a passport, if you are a resident in another country, not in your native country, you should definitely take your passport with you. For ID requirements, you can check this link. Let's come to test prep materials. We have a number of free materials and also priced materials that I would like to share with you. My favorite resource is this one, TOEFL Test Preparation, the Insider's Guide. It's a free self-paced course. The system is created by EDX, like Coursera. It's a very common course provider, let's say, and ETS provides the content. So the content of the course has been created, has been produced by the employees at ETS who have produced the test actually so far. So introduction to the test and each section, video lectures, sample questions from past tests and quizzes are available in this course. I highly recommend this course to everyone. There are no special requirements for enrollment. So if you plan to take the test in the near future, go ahead and enroll for this free online course. We have 3 other options as free materials. First one, free practice tests, as I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation. And we have separate practice tests for different skills, and we have test prep planner. If you would like to have a kind of roadmap before 8 weeks before the real test, you can definitely refer to this plan, and you can have your self-discipline in this way. We have price materials, as you can see on this slide. I will not go into details of these resources because it's up to your personal choice. If I were you, I would first of all finish all the free materials, understand the test, understand the question types, understand the passages and lectures. Like even sometimes when people have high level of English proficiency, if they don't know much about the test, they can have a lower score than they can anticipate. That's why it is good to benefit from the free resources. And when you see that they are not enough for you and you target a high score like 100, so you can definitely purchase these resources on our website and in your TOEFL account as well. So these are the details of the price materials. This is an official guide to the TOEFL test. and it provides tips and strategies as well as 4 full-length practice tests. This book is also available in ebook format. These are official TOEFL iBT tests. They have 2 volumes, 5 plus 5, 10 practice tests in total, and it includes an interactive DVD-ROM. TOEFL Practice Online is the simulation of the TOEFL iBT test. Students usually prefer this resource before the real test experience. Instead of paying the full test fee, they purchase this resource in order to test themselves before the real test. So you can definitely check the details on our website. There is also a discount if you purchase these resources as a bundle, let's say. We have also TOEFL Go Global official application. This is just for practice and for information regarding our test. This is also free to download. TOEFL online prep course is a priced resource, and it provides up to 80 hours of content over a 6-month subscription. So this is for self-study. Sometimes English language courses, English language schools also have their students take this course, attend this course with some guidance. Okay, you can have access to our resources on our social media channels, including our website for the TOEFL iBT only, TOEFLGoAnywhere.org. This is for having access to resources, TOEFL MOOC, free online course. Again, tips and strategies are provided. Videos are available on this website. This is the website only for the TOEFL iBT test, as it is the most popular test of ETS all around the world. I mentioned this before, TOEFL Destination Directory. This is a free service, and you can search more than 11,000 institutions that accept TOEFL scores. You can also enter your own score in order to check where you can go for higher education purposes. Follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is also very colorful with free sample test questions, test prep materials, and videos, as well as test and skill building tips. On Instagram, you can also update yourself with the recent developments. There have been a lot of developments, as I mentioned earlier, but there might be some others, so it's good to keep yourself up to date by following us on Instagram. On LinkedIn page as well, there are some inspirational videos from time to time. I hope they will be motivational for you. Our YouTube channel is also very colorful. I think it is the most useful one among all the other social media channels, because there are lots of videos for skill building tips, and again, inspirational and motivational videos are provided. When you're bored of answering questions, listening and reading scientific passages, so you can definitely refer to YouTube channel to have some fun out of testing. We have videos for test takers, for students, videos for all skills that we test, including question structure, scoring criteria, sample responses, and skill building tips. If you would like to receive updates, you can definitely subscribe to our newsletter. Maybe you will not take the test in 3 months, but you will take it next year or in 2 years. So I think it will be useful for you to keep yourself updated with this subscription. This is global email of customer support. I hope everything will go smoothly for many people, and you will not need to contact customer support. But if you need any support or help, write to TOEFL@ets.org. But if you have any questions, feel free to write to me as well. I will try to solve your problem as soon as possible. And thank you for listening. Let me check the time. 6 minutes to 5 Istanbul time zone. I will check the questions right now. But before the questions, I will go over some destination pages slides very quickly. In the United States, as you can understand, TOEFL iBT scores are accepted 100%. However, I would like to highlight this fact that 9 out of 10 universities in the United States prefer the TOEFL iBT test. So it is beyond acceptance. American universities, the majority of them, prefer the TOEFL iBT test. So this is an important detail. For Canada, is accepted, TOEFL scores are accepted everywhere in Canada. TOEFL test is the most popular English language test for university study in Canada. And as you can see, more than 80% of graduate programs in Canada prefer the TOEFL iBT test. So Canada is also is asked to me many times during student fairs, because most of the time people remember the US, not Canada. Europe, the most asked country about the TOEFL iBT scores is UK, because there is a rumor, again, a false assumption that TOEFL iBT scores are not accepted in the UK. This is not true. It's accepted more than 99% of UK universities and 100% of prestigious Russell Group universities. So about other countries like France, Germany, TOEFL iBT scores are accepted, and Australia, New Zealand, 100%, and across Asia as well. All right, this is the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Yasmin, for this very detailed presentation. You really gave us insight not only about TOEFL iBT home edition as we thought initially, but you also gave us very detailed information how we can prepare for the TOEFL iBT, what is important to know, and all this stuff. Thank you so much. But as you can understand, we have a lot of questions about the home edition. So perhaps I will go one by one. If somehow I missed your question, please let me know. But I copied all your questions, and I will read all of them for you, and we'll go one by one, okay? So it is announced a state of emergency in my country till May 10th, but my test day is rescheduled to May 14th. Is it going to be rescheduled or canceled?
Okay, this is a very good question. I'm happy to hear that because this is one of the most question asked. Before COVID-19, rescheduling was an action that you needed to pay for. But right now, ETS is waiving all the fees for rescheduling, so you can reschedule your test if you want. This is one point. The second point, according to my own experience in my country, test centers cancel the dates, cancel the test administration at the last minute, because depending on the university decision, depending on the government decision, so everything is kind of up in the air right now. If you have the telephone number of the test center, or if you have an email address, maybe you can directly ask them, or you can reschedule your own test, or you can even ask for cancellation to ETS by writing to TOEFL@ets.org. You can do it free. So it's if you would like to have the test later for your own health, I would definitely recommend rescheduling to another date, because May 14th is a really early time. Even the test center administers the tests, I would not go, honestly. So this is my response. I hope it has been helpful.
Thank you. So just to clarify, if they want to cancel the TOEFL and want to retake it later on, they can cancel it free of charge, right?
Exactly. If they would like to reschedule, they will do it in their account free. But if they would like to cancel it completely, they need to write to TOEFL@ets.org and they will cancel it free of charge. They will get the whole money back.
Okay, fine, thank you. Then
Yeah.
the other question, could you please so kind to clarify the permission of in-ear headphones with a microphone connected to laptop on the TOEFL iBT home edition?
Okay, so actually this is also another question asked many times. Maybe it should be better to refer to our link for more details because there are some technical details that I'm also not familiar. Maybe it would be much better if we contact later. If you send me an email and I will show you where it is written, all the technical details. Is that fine?
I hope so. And
Yes.
we have a lot of questions, like technical questions. I will read all of them for you, and you will decide whether you can answer them or just give floor to our students to go further and try to figure out with this more technical information.
Yes. Okay.
Is the special home edition in the special home edition, would we receive score within 6 days as well?
That's another good question. In normal conditions, we receive the scores online in 6 days, but for a special home edition, we receive the scores between 6 and 10 days.
Okay, so another technical question. About TOEFL Home Edition for Mac. Do we need to install Windows or Apple computers? Just because we have a bunch of questions on the technical stuff. Could you please repeat it?
I understand. So you need to install Windows on Mac for sure. And they are working on other alternatives right now. But I don't know what is the current situation. But for now, as I showed on the slide, that you should have Windows installed on your Mac.
Okay, another question about 360-degree vision of camera. So again, we have a lot of questions. How students can be sure that they have this 360-degree camera?
Actually, I took the GRE test at home just to test. I volunteered before we release it. So you change the position of your laptop depending on the type of your camera. So the camera is on my computer. So I turned the laptop to have the proctor see the whole environment of my room. So this is 360 degrees. Other than that, when you are taking the test and answering the questions, it is not 360 degrees, of course. They just see you. But at the beginning of the test, there is a test, let's say, test of the environment, whether you are hiding something or someone. So they're checking it.
Okay, so this is only for beginning, and it's enough to have laptop, which you can just show the room.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just showing the room to the proctor, human proctor.
Another question about special headphones. So I guess this is not a special headphone, but still, can you please explain?
Yeah, we cannot use wireless headphones. So this is very important as we focused on the slide. So again, maybe I will also show you, if you send me an email, again, I will refer to that link because I don't want to mislead any of you with maybe small detail that I don't know. It's much better to check this link.
Okay, another question about ProctorU platform. So one of our attendees asked that she is registered and she's supposed to get prepared for the passing home edition exam, but she didn't receive any reply back from the ProctorU. So
ProctorU, they usually receive it on the same day. So if they didn't receive it, they should definitely contact TOEFL@ets.org, or there is live chat on our website. So they can definitely write over there that they didn't receive an email from ProctorU, because without this email, they cannot take the test because they need to schedule the test day and time.
Okay, can you please elaborate again about note taking in TOEFL home edition? Certainly about any rules of using own paper. So this is another question. What kind of transparent paper do you mean?
The problem about note taking paper, if it is a normal piece of paper, that means you can do many things with that. Like you can hide some things. But if it is a transparent type of paper or nylon paper, plastic paper that you can write with a board marker, and the human proctor should make sure that you have deleted all of your notes.
Okay.
That's why there are actually pictures on that, like in order to make it clear for you, I can Google it and show it to you. So you cannot use normal paper for note taking. There should be a way to delete everything, and the human proctor should be sure of that.
Okay, and what if like our students have power cut or choppy connections? So if there is a bad internet connection, what will be the...
If it is a consistent bad connection, first, before taking the test, I think the test takers should make sure that they have a reliable internet connection. If they have a choppy internet connection, I think special home edition will not be very suitable in their case. But let's say that for that day, that they are taking the test, there is some misfortune and the internet connection is bad on especially that particular day. And then proctor you, let's say that you cannot continue the test, the proctor you will reschedule your test free of course.
So, but do you need to inform them in advance, so during the test, or you need to go through all the tests, then inform them that you have that you had bad connection?
Let's say that they can experience this problem. I mean, they experience this problem frequently. They can inform proctor you in advance.
Okay.
But if they have this problem like really frequently, then it will definitely interrupt the testing. So they first make sure that they have this reliable connection. Otherwise, the test cannot be rescheduled 10 times.
Okay, another thing, okay, let's ask all the unfortunate questions and be prepared for the best solution, but still, if somebody during the test has this interruption of connection, I don't know, electricity switched off or something like this, is there anything you can recommend them?
Sorry that I missed the question.
If there is some switch off, I don't know, electricity or some bad internet connection right during the test.
It actually, I heard from one test taker in my country, it happened, and proctor you tried again and restarted. So restarted, but the test taker continue with the section where she left. So
Okay.
this may happen, and if it happens once or twice, like proctor you will try again with you. There will be some attempts, but you will continue your test. It is something expected, the problem.
Okay, thank you. So what about water? Is it allowed for the home edition test?
No, unfortunately, no food and no drinks.
So, and please, because we have a lot of questions about the notes. So can they take notes throughout the listening section?
Note taking is allowed in all sections. Not only in listening, because in speaking as well, there is note taking in the integrated part. So you need to take notes in any part of the test.
Okay, another question about human proctor. How is selected, from test center or only from ETS?
Actually, the human proctors are from Proctor U, and they are experienced in proctor tests, at home tests. So they are arranging everything according to the procedures of ETS. Of course, they are following the guidelines of ETS.
So another question, should students show their notes right after each session, and how should they manage their note-taking space?
So at the end of each section, yeah, there is like strict control of your notes, that you have to show your notes to the proctor. That's true.
Like after each section?
Yes.
Okay, I guess that I read all your questions.
I hope I have been clear. Technical stuff.
If you have any questions or somehow I missed yours, please let me know. Try to type it once again, or just you can also raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask your questions if you want.
And there is one question, like, is it a problem if I take notes not in English? It's fine. Yeah. You can take notes in your own language. Let's say that you missed one point in English and you don't know how to write it, maybe how to spell it in English, so you can do so.
Mm-hmm. Any cost difference between TOEFL IBT or classic TOEFL? They mean perhaps home edition and TOEFL.
Home edition, exactly the same price, the same test fee. Okay. There's no difference.
Okay, Yulia Makarchan, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, I already unmuted myself. Hello, Yasmin. I have participated in your TOEFL Propel workshop session last year. It was really very nice.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to see you again.
For me, the pleasure is the same here. Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Yasmin Jan, I have a question concerning the note-taking space. If I run out during the session, I run out of space of the transparent paper and I need much more space. Can I delete it without showing to the human proctor?
Yeah, you can delete it at the time of the test. They will not prevent you.
Okay, it means that I should have a sponge and an erasing marker. So yeah. I will take my note, and if I run out of space, I can easily delete it without showing to anyone.
Exactly, because they will understand that you are deleting and you need some space.
Yeah, because I have students who really take heavy notes and they need space a lot.
Yeah, I understand, because some of us, like, maybe they're really good listeners and they take really nice notes and they will need more space. I totally understand.
Yeah. Okay, this perhaps was the most troubling question for me.
Yeah, I understand it, because it's a very recent development, and I totally understand your questions and concerns. For me as well, it was the first experience taking the test at home. I took the GRE, but GRE is like kind of, it is a smooth experience because there's no listening and speaking, and note taking is quite limited because you don't need it. But for TOEFL IBT, there are more considerations like note-taking, microphone, headphones, speakers, etc. So it's good to check all the system requirements in advance so that you will not be surprised at the time of the test. Yeah,
I see. What about special clothing? So can they wear casual dress? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Because even at the test centers, it is advised to test takers that they need to wear comfortable clothes, but at the same time, proper clothes. For not necessarily formal, but just nice, comfortable clothes, and they will be recorded at the same time. So that's important.
And just remember, their photos will be sent to the universities as well.
So as not to be naked.
Yeah, exactly. They should have proper clothes. Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much for the thorough details. I really enjoyed the session.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
It's great
Thank
to
you.
hear.
We have Nane also. Do you want to ask something?
Yes, sure. Please go ahead, Nane.
Hi, I'm Nanem, and I want to know how much does cost Miss Ina courses?
What courses do you mean?
TOEFL or IELTS?
I'm not sure what, because we all our services are free of charge, and we don't provide any courses specifically, I don't know, IELTS or TOEFL. This is just, we have a lot of preparation courses just as a part of our competitive college club or other services that we provide. If you need more information, please let me know. You can email me and we can talk, like, just for me to know what do you mean by this. What do you really want to ask?
Okay, I will write you. Thank you.
Okay, and we have also Mirna who want to ask something, right? Mirna, you can unmute yourself and
there are also some questions in the chat part I can answer, no problem, later.
If okay, then
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Mirna.
Hi, Mirna.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your interview. Everything was really clear. I want to ask maybe a personal question, but if you can help me, that would be really good. My test was on March 28. I'm from Yerevan, and it was rescheduled to May 10. And my center is not it's not clear if it will be open on the test day or not. And my conditions does not allow me to take the test on my own space from my home. So I asked the test center a couple of times, and they are saying it will happen, the test. But in my city, it is not allowed to take any tests until May 14. So I wanted to ask the ETS center to clarify if it will happen or not. I want to hear from the ETS center if the test on that day, it will happen in Armenia or not.
Okay, so could you please tell me about the date?
Yasmin, we cannot hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. Is this better?
Now, because Mirna, I can hear you. I guess Yasmin also, but
yeah. So could you please tell me the date of your test, Mirna?
May 10.
May 10. Okay, it's still a little bit early. So it's the test center cannot say anything, right?
No, the center said that it will happen, the test, but the government saying that it's not allowed until May 14.
Okay, it's quite tricky. We had the same situation as well. Maybe it's good to write to TOEFL@ets.org or live chat on our website.
Because I emailed the center a couple of times and I didn't get any answer. That's why I'm asking.
I understand. Maybe you can just email me and I will ask our headquarters, our colleagues in headquarters. All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
For those who really want to be in touch with Yasmin, I wrote her email address for you. You can. This is in chat box. You can find it there, and email if you want to discuss.
Okay. Thank you so much for your hard work and patience. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you very much. I hope it will everything will be good in Armenia and you will take the test.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best to you. Good luck.
Good luck to all of us.
May I proceed to some questions? Then we have another question about the like passport. Should I show my passport in the beginning of a test? So,
yes, for sure. You should definitely show, you will actually show your ID card at the beginning of the test.
Okay. Are the transparent papers available in stationery shops?
They are, but your shops are open. They
are closed.
You can order online. Actually, this is a discussion in our team, higher education team with the TOEFL for the TOEFL test, because people may not be able to find this kind of papers, and this kind of markers. I hope things will change in the following days or weeks. I don't know. You can check with me through email that maybe there has been an update, or you can check our website if you like. Maybe there will be some alternatives because it's a limited facility in terms of note taking.
For the payment, so it is always online payment, right?
Online payments, you cannot pay in cash, unfortunately, because our system is very centralized. Everything goes to Princeton. So you can just pay by card or maybe by phone, but you need to give your credit number. I mean, I don't do it. I would never do such a thing, like just pay by card, like an online shopping. I think it's the best option.
We have Ruhala who want to ask something.
Yeah.
You can unmute yourself because it should work.
Hi.
Okay, hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you, team. It was very enjoyable and interesting session. You know, I'm just like fresh in TOEFL because I was going to take the IELTS, but recently in Afghanistan, all the centers for IELTS closed due to COVID-19, and now we were just checking for the TOEFL, and we heard about the TOEFL home edition. So I have just a question regarding your advice, because we are very fresh and we don't know about the TOEFL, how this TOEFL is going. So what is your advice? We should go by online preparation with those source and courses that you have mentioned and you have the links and advice, or we should go to a TOEFL center here in Kabul, because we have very limited courses here due to COVID-19, and we have limit instructor here. But how we can go that we should spend our time very efficiently?
I understand from your speaking that you are at the level of TOEFL iBT. I think you can do it yourself. So yeah, just trust yourself, because you're fluent in speaking. I'm sure that you can also do well in reading, listening, and writing. For sure, it's a personal question, like, because attending a course, you will have to pay. And I don't know whether the course will provide the best education for you, best training for you or not. I cannot recommend you that you should definitely go to a language course to get some external help. I think with free resources and with a nice, like with an organized study plan, you can achieve a high score by yourself as well, I believe. I mean, if you have the self-discipline. Some people may prefer to be guided by an external agent, you know, external person, but some people can study for hours on a book or online, like for hours and hours without any interruption. So it totally depends on you. If you need a kind of, for Turkish test takers, like I prepared an email that which sources you should follow. If you send me an email, I will share these links with you, because there are, of course, even when I was an English teacher, I prepared a lot of students for the TOEFL iBT, and there are some nice vocabulary books, some nice practice books, free resources. I can share these with you if you like, that you can study.
Thank you.
By yourself. All right.
Yeah, thank you. I will write you your email. Yeah.
I would be happy to respond and support you.
So you are providing even more information and try to be even more helpful. Thank you so much for this. And we have a really very good question just for us and for the others to know. How long does it take from you to answer the emails, just to be ready if they didn't receive any reply from you, what they need to do?
Okay, I'm usually a very quick respondent, but these days, as I deliver a lot of webinars, I receive a lot of emails. So let's say in 2 working days, I will be responding to you. I promise. All right.
Okay, thank you so much. If we don't have any, I think we don't have any questions. Are there any courses for teachers? I mean, trainers for TOEFL. So I guess that they need to.
This is also another lovely question. We have Propel workshop for English teachers. Propel workshop for the TOEFL iBT test for English teachers. We, in normal conditions, delivered these workshops face-to-face. And we actually did it with my manager in Yerevan as well in 2018. And unfortunately, as the conditions are not suitable for face-to-face workshop, we plan to provide these workshops online. We are making the preparations. If you're interested, please send me an email because I'm collecting a list of people that who sent me an email before and they would like to attend the workshop, but we cannot come together face to face. So please send me an email and I will have you join these online workshops. All right.
Okay, thank you. And just for those who are in Armenia and want to know what is Education USA does, this is just a brief information. We are providing information about how you can apply to the US universities and colleges. We have a lot of services and all of them are free of charge. If you are really interested to know more about the education in the USA, please let me know. You know my email address and you can contact me every time. So since we don't have any questions, I want to really thank you, Yasmin, and thank you for being ready for us, for all this, for answering all these questions. And thank you all. It was very great to connect with you virtually. I really appreciate you all asking your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please connect with us again soon with our upcoming webinars. I hope you will have a great rest of the day and please stay at home to be safety and healthy.
Yeah, it is the most difficult part, staying at home.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I felt your hospitality even virtually. Hope to see you face to face in the near future.
Yes, someday in fall we can organize some training, some workshop for our TOEFL instructors. I will be happy to do this. And before that, I want to say bye, stay safe, and bye to all. I'm going to end our webinar.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye everyone. Take care.
Bye bye.